fans, and welcome to another edition of the Chi-Town Daily News' very own Sports Chat from the Zebra Lounge. With Andrew Seidler, I'm Mike McGuire. Today we're going to be talking about our Cubs once again, but today we're going to be focusing in on the return of Kerry Wood. So far it's been a little guarded. He was kind of built up as a savior, but as we all know, the Cubs continue to struggle. What do you think, my man?
Better than expected for me anyway. I mean, the walks have been an issue. But, you know, in the last start, but in the first start, no walks. You know, he left at 3 homers, but oddly, I'm not really concerned about home runs with Kerry Wood.
Sure.
I think once he gets to the location a little better, he'll start hitting his spots, and they'll you know, get a guy down 2 strikes, they'll have to hit, you know, swing for the high one. I don't see too many homers off him. The issue is the walks. I was a little disturbed by the walks yesterday, but he settled in after a while. So, I mean, I think he's doing all right. He had no spring training. When was the last time he was really starting on a consistent basis? You know, he's closing at the end of last year.
July.
Wow. That's a long time.
Last start leading up to that, and going to be a little rust on the trombone when you're trying to do that.
Absolutely.
So he looked good in the first start. He was wild in the strike zone. He couldn't, you know, he was throwing a lot more strikes, but he was also piping balls. In the second start, you know, you want to see him try to fine tune, and he was just missing. He was a little more rusty, but overall, I think he's looking good. I mean, but at $13 million a year, I can't even remember what his contract is. We're not really looking for good out of that guy. And you know, he's got his contract years coming up. It's time to start thinking about the future. Where do you see him going?
Well, I think his name is going to increasingly, you know, as we get close to the trade deadline, that's a name that's going to pop up a lot. Because injuries aside, the guy, you know, this is a guy that struck out 20 guys in one game. I mean, this is a guy who throws, you know, mid to high 90s. And he has all the potential in the world. He's, what, 28 now. I don't know if you can talk about potential the same way you could, you know, 5 years ago. But he still has a, you know, fantastic arm. And I think that a lot of people would like to get their hands on him. The question is, what could the Cubs really get for him at this point? But I think his name will come up, and I think Jim Hendry would be crazy not to listen to him.
Right, absolutely.
He hasn't been a reliable starter.
And everybody knows that, but people are always crazy enough to take a shot at pitching.
Sure.
I mean, that's the one commodity you can never have too much of.
Sure.
Unless you're the Cubs, then you can just wheel and deal, baby, because we got, you know, we're rich in arms. We don't need to worry about it. But that's it for the state of the Cubs right now. Continued ugliness with a continued forecast of crappy. But that's Cubs baseball. For Andrew, I'm Mike, saying go Cubs.